In this video, you'll discover the fastest way to lose belly fat, but also lose it not only for the short term, but for the long term for good. Hey Wellness Warrior, I'm Dr. Zyrowski, and when it comes to losing belly fat, the thing that we have to do is we have to get our body in the fat burning zone. Now, I know that that sounds way easier than it really is, but I'm going to show you how to make it simple, how to make it easy and take out all the confusion. Now, if we want to get in the fat burning zone, what we have to accomplish in our body physiologically with our hormones is we have to actually lower our blood sugar, and when we lower our blood sugar, we're going to inevitably lower our insulin levels. Now, when we lower insulin, it actually allows us to start tapping into our fat for energy, right? And that is essentially how we're going to lose weight, is when our body starts using fat for energy versus sugar that's floating around in the bloodstream and also stored sugar. And then that's when we're burning fat. Now, how do we get there? Now, there's a lot of different ways to get there. There's a lot of different ideologies as to how you're going to accomplish this. Now, one is medication. Actually, getting into the fat burning zone through medication, this has become wildly popular over the past probably year. What happened is that there was different celebrities and even Elon the Musk who started taking things like Ozempic. And this is a medication that is going to start cranking up your insulin levels. And because it's cranking up your insulin levels, it starts shoving all that sugar into the cell. And as a result of that, it helps people start driving down their fat stores. It also acts as an appetite suppressant. Now, what happens when you start driving down your appetite? Well, essentially you eat fewer calories, and that's going to lead to weight loss as well. But when you take this medication, what has been shown to happen is that actually 2/3 of the people who actually lose weight by taking Ozempic, they actually gained it all back. So it proved to not be a good solution, right? Because what happened? Well, you took something to alter your physiology and crank up some fat burning, but the big issue is that you didn't do it the right way, right? You didn't change any of your poor lifestyle habits that caused all the weight gain in the first place. And also, you did it by cranking up your insulin levels, which we just talked about. If we truly want to lose weight and heal the body and do it the correct way, we actually want to do the opposite and drive down insulin levels. So in the short term, you could actually accomplish fat burning by cranking up the insulin levels and driving that sugar into the cell, but it's not a long-term solution. Now, the other big problem with taking the medication is it actually led to people having shortages who needed the medication who were type 2 diabetics. This is a type 2 diabetes medication. It was never actually approved for weight loss, but because so many celebrities started doing this, then it became very popular, and many people looked at it as an actual solution. And it, once again, in fact, is not. So let's talk about what you can do instead of this using plant compounds, but also some lifestyle changes that will be incredibly important to accomplish this. First, we want to go sugar-free. The reason we have to go sugar-free is to drive down blood sugar. We drive down blood sugar, as we mentioned, we drive down insulin, then we get into the fat burning zone. So it's important to go sugar-free, but also low carb, because whenever you're eating these refined carbohydrates, it's important to realize that they are going to boost up your sugar levels. And if you're somebody who is in a place where you're a little bit insulin resistant, this is a big deal. What we have to do is look at this from the standpoint of we actually want to lean towards that keto direction. You don't have to go full keto to accomplish getting into the fat burning zone. If you're going full keto, you're following the ketogenic diet and you're in the state of ketosis, right? You don't necessarily have to be there in order to accomplish this. You can go sugar-free and go low carb, pull out all refined carbohydrates, keep your carbs low. I don't personally eat keto, but I can tell you I definitely eat low carb. And what I typically like to do is save all my carbs for nighttime, because I don't want to eat carbs for breakfast if you're someone who's eating breakfast. I don't want to eat carbs for lunch. I want to eat them at night because they'll help me sleep better. So I kind of bring all my carbs to nighttime and I just do a little bit, maybe 100 grams or less. And of course that number is all dependent on how fast you're trying to get into the fat burning zone and also how insulin insensitive you actually are. If you're somebody who has some insulin sensitivity issues, you want to go even lower on those carbs. If you're trying to really drive down that fat burning to a much stronger place, you want to go lower on those carbs, 50 grams or less, 25 grams or less. And then we can throw an exercise in there, going for a brisk walk every single day, lifting some weights, doing some high intensity interval training, get your body moving. This is how you're going to drive down your blood sugar and drive down your insulin levels. Now, I mentioned to you that a lot of people are using medications, and I don't ever find this to be a solution. I think it's actually a very bad idea. And the reason for that is because, as I mentioned, 2/3 of the people who use this as a weight loss method and also also an appetite suppressant gain all their weight back. When you look at this whole situation, and this is just a kind of a generalization for medication, is it never was designed to actually fix the problem. It's designed to give you a result. So yes, you took a medication, it gave you a result, but it didn't get to the root cause and ever fix a problem. I tell patients this all the time. They say to me, well, you know, I took the medication, it didn't work. I said, no, it worked. It gave you that desired result that you were looking to achieve when taking the medication, but the medication was never a promise to actually fix your diabetes. It can give you a result while using it. And that's actually the danger of this too, is that they said that most of the people who are taking this medication Ozempic, essentially what happens is that in order to actually sustain the weight loss that they had and even not plateau, what they have to do is stay on it for a lifetime. Wow, how crazy is that? We don't want that. So what can we use as far as plant compounds? Well, it's really interesting because I was working with somebody and what they did is they said to me, what did you give me for supplementation? Because I lost a ton of weight. Did you give me weight loss supplements? I go, no, I didn't. They go, well, how did I lose weight then if you didn't give me weight loss supplements? I said, oh, well, I actually gave you things in order to help with your blood sugar, and inevitably that helps you lose weight. This is essentially what they're doing with the medication, but you could accomplish that same thing with plant compounds in a much safer way without all the side effects. Now, I don't believe that using plant compounds is a long-term solution. I think that you actually need to solve your weight loss and solve your weight gain issues by using a lot of these methods. But the plant compounds in the short term is very beneficial. What can you use? Well, you could use berberine. Berberine is excellent at actually helping you become more insulin sensitive and drive down your blood sugar, which will help with weight loss. Once again, short-term solution, not a long-term one. Once we actually start getting ourselves into the fat burning zone, the question becomes, how do we stay there? The way that we stay there is the same way that we actually got in the fat burning zone. We continue to eat sugar-free. We continue to keep our carbs low. We continue to exercise. We continue to make sure that we're getting adequate protein every single day, and also adequate amounts of fat every single day. And then that is how you will stay in the fat burning zone. And that essentially is the fastest way to lose weight, and do it the correct way, get to the root cause of the problem, and truly find a solution to your weight and fat loss issues. If you enjoyed this video, I'm Dr. Zyrowski, and I think you'll really like this video over here next.